The Anthropocene Extinction by Cattle Decapitation. The time is finally here. It's time for us to talk about this album. It's definitely one that was highly anticipated by not only myself, but by a lot of people. Songs such as Manufactured Extinct or Mammals Babylon, which kind of gave us a taste of what this album had to offer, really gave us something to, I guess, really kind of marvel at, or it's caused us to provide these lofty expectations for this album. So there's a lot riding on the Anthropocene Extinction going in before a single note is even played. So it already has potential to be a magnificent one, or at least that's what our hopes are. So listening through this album, it's a 12-track affair that clocks in at a little bit above 46 minutes in length. And if you're unfamiliar with Cattle Decapitation, they are a gore grind band, or just a grind band that has some death metal tendencies, some technical side, this, that, and there's a lot of different facets to this band's sound. And you need to keep that in mind, considering a lot of these facets are expanding a little bit more with this disc as well. We all know about Manufactured Extinct, which is the kickoff track off of this album, but it is an absolute beast. It's one that we covered in a track review a little bit earlier this year, and it was one that promised that this had the opportunity to launchpad an album that, if it maintained that level of brutality and focus, was going to be a bona fide contender. I believe the quote was somewhere paraphrased within that. And the minute that you get into The Prophets of Loss, the very next track, you start to realize, okay, they were able to follow it up. This is another really, really good sign. This is another track that really furiously chugs its way through and just doesn't take the foot off of the accelerator going into Plagueborn, which is your first real indicator that you might not have to worry as much as you probably were going in. Plagueborn is a phenomenal track, nearly 5 minutes in length, and if there's one thing that I really want to praise on this album is the differential between the different guttural and death metal style lyricism, or vocals, should I say, intermixed with the cleans. The cleans are absolutely phenomenal on this album. They are very well tailored, and you know what? There is always kind of this tendency or this desire to have your cleans have sort of like a little bit of an edge to them, but this is one that feels so natural with that edge. It feels just as sort of disturbing, either that or just as destructive as the more guttural vocals do. And that combination really provides extra atmosphere, not to mention extra depth to the songs that are on this album. And if you haven't, by Plagueborn, recognized that this is something that's kind of different, it will continue to expose itself. So that's a thought that you might as well get into your mind. One thing I'm going to say about Mammals Babylon is that the chorus of this track, if you really want to call it a chorus, the cleaner section of this song, reminds me of Devin Townsend. It reminds me of Devin, and now I want you to imagine that for a second. Cattle Decapitation and Devin Townsend in the same sentence. And we're not necessarily talking about, say, Strapping Young Lad. We're talking about Devin Townsend, the solo work, the Devin Townsend band, Accelerated Evolution, Deconstruction, etc. Yeah. And that is an addition, an add-on, an additive to Cattle Decapitation's sound that only serves to help them even further. Now, before this, we have about a 1 minute and 23 second long introduction, or sort of almost like a stopgap between what would be side A and side B. The first 5 tracks on this album have a little bit more length to them, whereas the latter portion is some smaller songs with one final track, with Pacific Grim being the longest track on the album at 5 minutes and 29 seconds and kind of ending the album right. 5:25, sorry. But here's the thing. They do not fucking slow down. They don't stop. They don't give you any more of a break aside from that until you reach Ave Extinctum. This is creative, and this is different. This is one that takes a softer side, but still provides some lyricism. It is kind of crazy how they were willing to sort of tone things back and scale them back a little bit in order to make a track that has a little bit more of a creepiness, a subtle, eerie, unpleasant goodness to it. And those are two words you never think you'd hear in the same sentence, but there you are. And then Pacific Grin takes us home very strong. The buzzsaw of this album is almost consistent, even whenever they have these moments of slowdown, either that or these moments of something a little bit different. The buzzsaw is still active in your brain because you know where you've come from so far with this album, and you know where you're eventually going to end up. But here's the difference between this album and other albums like it. Here's what makes it a little different, is the fact that within every genre or within every year, there's always an album or two that just has a tone to it, that has a sound to it, a resonance. It sounds like the songwriting was at a 10 out of 10 every single time. Like, they could do no wrong. Like, they just had a magical session where everything sounded fantastic. We have that in any individual artist's career. There are some writers that feel that they had a great 7-chapter stretch, whereas there's 4 chapters right after that need some serious freaking help and maybe never do get it. This is an album that feels like it had one of those sessions, like one of those sessions where just everything was clicking and the ideas continue to prosper throughout subsequent sessions to really lead to an album that has a great balance to it, a tremendous, excellent flow to it, but at the same time takes some leaps and takes no prisoners. This is an absolutely terrific album. It's a 93 out of 100, but I want to know what you guys think about this disc. It's a crusher. This one, whenever it comes to Anticipation, delivers in leads 100%, if not more. It's one that you're definitely going to want to pick up, one you're definitely going to want to listen to, but what do you think about it? What do you think about it right now, those of you who have listened to it, or those of you who are anticipating this? What do you think? Let me know down there in the comments. I want to know. Let me know. I'm Cover Killer Nation. I'm recommending this album. Give it a 2 fantastic thumbs up. I don't even do this type of shit anymore. Just check this one out. It's really good. You're going to dig it. Later.